Welcome to your AI intelligence briefing for the week of August 11th. We've got a lot to cover from the, let's say, turbulent launch of GPT-5 to a truly massive $500 billion bet on infrastructure. And as if that's not enough, the brain-computer interface race is really heating up. Let's dive in.
All right, here's the rundown for today. We'll start with the lead story, the GPT-5 rollout and its architecture. Then we'll look at the market dynamics. You won't believe the capital flows. After that, some incredible scientific breakthroughs, the ever-expanding ecosystem of tools, and we'll wrap up with power and policy. Let's get started.
So, let's kick things off with the big story of the week, GPT-5. OpenAI dropped it on August 7th, and, well, to put it mildly, the rollout has been rocky. We're talking major technical hurdles and some pretty serious user backlash that forced leadership to respond, and fast. So, in an emergency Ask Me Anything session, Sam Altman got right to the point. The main culprit? It seems to be a faulty dynamic model switcher within GPT-5's new router architecture. Essentially, the router was supposed to be smart about sending queries to the right-sized model, but it was misfiring, sending simple queries to smaller, faster models that just didn't have the nuance or, as users pointed out, the emotional intelligence of GPT-4o. The fix? Altman says they're bringing back GPT-4o for Plus users and rolling out a new thinking mode, which sounds like a way to manually force the router to use the big guns, the larger, more capable models for those really complex tasks. Okay, digging into the system card, we see a really key architectural change in how they're handling safety. They're moving away from the old hard refusal system. Instead, GPT-5 uses what they're calling a safe completions paradigm. Think of it as an evolution beyond techniques like RLAF. The model isn't just trained to avoid a bad response. It's fine-tuned to actively generate a safe and helpful alternative. So for those tricky, ambiguous, dual-use prompts, the goal is to give you something useful without, compromising on safety. It's a pretty interesting balancing act. Now, the performance benchmarks, this is a really telling story. On one hand, GPT-5 is an absolute beast in structured domains. It's setting new state-of-the-art records on tasks like software engineering with SWE Bench and even hitting gold medal levels in competitive math. But, and this is a big but, what's really critical is what OpenAI admitted in the system card: persistent challenges in abstract reasoning. So what does that tell us? It suggests that just scaling up the model is crushing these formalized logical problems, but that true emergent abstract understanding, that's still the hard nut to crack. It's a fundamental research problem that this architecture hasn't solved yet. All right, let's switch gears and talk about the money. Because all this technological ambition is being fueled by just a staggering amount of capital. I mean, the scale of the financial bets being placed on AI right now it's just off the charts. First up, get this. A former OpenAI researcher, Leopold Aschenbrunner, just raised $1.5 billion for a new AI hedge fund. And what's really wild here is that he has zero prior investment experience. But he's backed by heavy hitters like the Stripe founders. This just screams that the market is placing immense value on deep, domain-specific AI expertise over a traditional finance background. Next, let's talk infrastructure, because the private sector is going all in. SoftBank is launching a project they're calling Stargate. It's starting with buying a Foxconn EV plant in Ohio, but the potential scale of this thing is $500 billion, $500 billion. That's a massive long-term bet on building the actual physical backbone that all future AI is going to run on. And speaking of bold moves, Perplexity AI just did something pretty audacious. They made an unsolicited all-cash offer to buy Google Chrome for $34.5 billion. Now, that's nearly double Perplexity's own valuation. The way they're spinning it is fascinating. They're pitching it as a way to help Google with its antitrust problems. It's a wild strategic play to just straight up acquire a massive distribution channel. So is this specialized focus paying off? Well, the numbers speak for themselves. In just the first half of this year, Aschenbrunner's fund, Situational Awareness, has posted a 47% return. To put that in perspective, the S&P 500 is sitting at around 15%, which is already a great year.
This is exactly the kind of outperformance, the kind of alpha that's pulling all this capital into the AI space. Okay, moving away from the markets and the big product launches for a second, let's talk about how AI is becoming this absolutely fundamental tool for scientific discovery, especially in fields like biomedicine and neuroscience. So check this out. Researchers at KAIST have built a new diffusion model for drug design called BIND. Now, the really clever part here is what it does differently. Instead of the old two-step process, generate a molecule, then test it, BIND does both at the same time. It generates molecular structures and predicts how well they'll bind to a target protein, all in one single process. This makes it way more efficient at exploring the vast chemical space to find the best possible drug candidates, in this case for cancer.
Meanwhile, over at Meta, their new tribe model just won the Algonauts 2025 competition. And the way it works is pretty cool. Instead of just using one type of data, it uses a trimodal input stream that's video, audio, and text all at once to predict how the brain responds. And this multi-input approach, which probably uses something like a transformer with cross-attention, is just crushing it. It's outperforming single input models by around 30% and can accurately predict fMRI activity in over 1,000 different parts of the brain. Pretty amazing.
And the breakthroughs just keep coming. MIT researchers used generative AI to design 2 brand new antibiotics to fight drug-resistant superbugs like gonorrhea and MRSA. And on a totally different scale, you've got Google and NASA teaming up to build an AI doctor. It's built on Vertex AI and Llama 3, and it's designed to help keep astronauts healthy on deep space missions. It just shows the incredible range of applications, from the molecular level all the way to outer space.
So all this amazing research, it's not staying in the lab. It's translating super quickly into new tools and products that we can all start to use, whether you're a developer or just a regular consumer.
Looking at the product announcements this week, you can really see 2 different strategies playing out. On one side, you've got the battle of the giants. xAI made Grok 4 for free for a limited time, a clear shot across the bow at GPT-5. But then, OpenAI's much smaller, specialized model O3 showed its strength by wiping the floor with Grok 4 in a Kegel chess tournament, 4-0. Then on the other side, you have this push for specialized tools. Microsoft is experimenting with Copilot 3D to turn 2D images into 3D models, and Google just dropped Gemma 3 270M, which is a really compact, open-source model designed to run efficiently right on your device.
And finally, let's zoom out and look at the human and political layer. We're talking leadership changes and geopolitical moves that are really going to shape the future of all this tech.
So the rivalry between OpenAI and Elon Musk is just escalating, and now it's opening up on a whole new front: brain-computer interfaces. Reports say OpenAI is about to lead a major investment round in a company called Merge Labs, a BCI startup valued at $850 million. This move puts them in direct competition with Musk's Neuralink, which, as we know, has some very aggressive plans of its own.
Now, this next piece of news is, well, it's pretty unconventional. A deal has been struck that allows NVIDIA and AMD to start exporting AI chips to China again. But here's the catch. 15% of all revenue from those sales goes directly to the US government. Yeah. As you can imagine, this is a super controversial arrangement, and it's already raising a ton of legal and national security questions from all sides.
And one last leadership note, GitHub CEO Thomas Domke has announced he's stepping down at the end of the year. This isn't happening in a vacuum, though. It's part of a bigger strategic shift to integrate GitHub even more deeply into Microsoft's core AI division. From now on, GitHub's leadership will report directly to the AI infrastructure group there.
So when you step back and look at everything that happened this week, the sheer speed of it all, you see this really interesting tension. On one side, you have this massive consolidation of capital, these huge infrastructure plays that feels like a centralized race for AGI. But on the other side, you've got this Cambrian explosion of open-source models, specialized tools, and incredible scientific breakthroughs. So the question I want to leave you with is, which future are we building right now? Is it one dominated by just a handful of huge consolidated players? Or are we heading towards a much more vibrant, decentralized ecosystem? It's definitely something to think about.